All right, we have everybody back. Everybody may be seated. State, please call your next witness.
State False Officer Tyler Ragauckas.
I do.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Will you please tell us your full name and spell your last name?
Tyler Ragauckas, Ragauckas.
And where are you employed, officer?
The city of Northport with the police department.
How long?
5 years.
Okay. Can you please tell us your duties?
I work patrol, primarily just answering calls for service as they come out.
All right. Do you have prior law enforcement experience?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yes, I was a police officer in New Jersey for 9 years.
Where in New Jersey?
Lakewood Township.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to take you back to September 1st of 2023. Will you tell the members of the jury how you first became involved in this case?
On that date, I was the primary officer to get sent to the address on Malakote. I was the initial officer to arrive on scene first.
And that home on Malakote, 1240 Malakote Road, is that in the city of Northport in Sarasota County?
Yes.
Did dispatch alert you to a safety issue at that address?
Yes.
Can you please give us a bit of information about that safety issue?
So prior to my arrival, police dispatch let officers know that there was a female that was screaming from the neighboring house. And as that neighbor opened their front door to see what the commotion was, there was a puddle of blood on her front steps.
Right. Once you arrived at Malakote, can you tell us what was the very first thing you saw?
The first thing I saw was a male closing the trunk to a black vehicle. And that male.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. And where was that black car situated with reference to 1240 Malakote Road?
The black car was parked right in the swale directly in front of 1240 Malakote.
Okay. Is there a dashboard camera on your patrol car?
Yes.
Okay. And was it operating on the night of August 31st into the early morning hours of September 1st of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about how that dash cam operates when a law enforcement officer gets in the driver's seat?
That specific vehicle that I was operating that night, once the vehicle's turned on, the camera rolls 24 hours, 7 days a week, as long as the vehicle is on. You can't turn it off or manipulate the camera in any way.
In addition to the dash camera on your police car, were you also wearing a body camera?
Yes.
Was that regulation at the time and continues to be regulation with the city of Northport?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. And was the body camera also turned on?
Yes.
At the time this incident occurred? Okay. Now, when you turned onto Malakote and saw a person near that black car, did you have, well, I guess it's kind of redundant, but you were in a police car. Did it have the typical insignia and all of the authorized patrol vehicle distinctions on the car?
Yes.
Okay. Did it have jurisdictional markings displayed on the car?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about the lighting on that street.
Lighting was sporadic street lights, but fairly dark.
And when you pulled up to this car, did you have your headlights on?
Correct.
Okay. Were you able to see the activity at the back of the car with your headlights?
Yes.
Did you illuminate that person further?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I activated my high beams on my headlights, as well as takedown lights, which are affixed to the light bar. They're bright white LED lights.
All right. Was there anything obstructing your view between you sitting in the driver's seat of your patrol car and this individual that was at the back of the black vehicle?
No.
Can you tell us what kind of car it was, in addition to it being black?
It was a black Chevy Sonic.
What, if anything, did you observe about the person that you saw to the rear of or at the trunk area of the black Chevy Sonic?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question, please?
Of course. What, if anything, did you observe about that person that was at the back of that black Chevy Sonic?
What I observed was a white male wearing a tank top and shorts, but specifically, he was covered in blood from his head down his arms.
Okay. And did you have any difficulty in viewing the fact that he had blood virtually everywhere on his body?
No.
Okay. Based upon the dispatch information that you told us about it a bit earlier, and your personal observations of the defendant, did you have any concerns about what was in that car or what was in the trunk of that car?
Yes.
What were your concerns, Officer Ragauckas?
So my concerns were the original call was that a female was screaming. At this time, I saw a male only. As he was closing the door, covered in blood, I wasn't sure if he was hiding someone in the trunk or hiding a weapon or something along the lines of covering up a crime.
All right. So as that was going through your mind, what is the very next thing that you did?
I immediately exited my car, unholstered my weapon, and gave the commands to the male that was outside the car. I identified myself as a police officer, and I told him to stop.
Were you wearing a uniform?
Yes.
And how did he react?
The male completely ignored me, entered the driver's side of the Chevy Sonic, and began to accelerate out of the neighborhood.
Okay. When you say accelerate, was he going, just based on your observations, faster than the normal speed on a residential street?
At the initial time, no, but then his speed did progress.
Okay, all right. So did you take further steps after the male got into that black Sonic and just drove away from you, completely ignoring your directions?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do?
I immediately notified other officers and police dispatch of what I observed. At this time, another police officer was entering onto Malakote from the opposite direction. He activated his red and blue lights to effect a motor vehicle stop on the black Sonic, to which the vehicle still failed to yield to police.
Okay, so the person that got in that black car, he just continued down Malakote, even with you behind him and other law enforcement.
Objection, counsel testifying.
Overall, at this time, let's make maybe the question a little shorter.
Yes, sir. Did he completely ignore the other law enforcement that had showed up on the scene?
Yes.
Okay. Who was the person that showed up on the scene in addition to you?
Sergeant Johnson with the Northport Police Department.
Okay, what's Sergeant's first name?
Sergeant Patrick Johnson.
Okay. When you saw the defendant evade Sergeant Johnson, what was your next step?
I immediately got on the radio. At this time, asked permission to initiate a pursuit, and the vehicle was stopping in what I had observed, to which it was approved.
Okay. And what do you mean when you say initiate a pursuit?
So when you initiate a pursuit, you have to identify who you are on the radio, reason for the stop, weather conditions, speed, and vehicle maneuvering of the defendant's vehicle.
All right. And was that pursuit approved by your superiors?
Yes,
And did you continue on the pursuit with Sergeant Johnson?
that's correct.
Did anyone else become involved in that pursuit along with you and Sergeant Patrick Johnson?
Yes, Corporal Hart.
Okay. Let's now look at what's been pre-marked for identification as State's Exhibit number 3. Do you recognize this, officer?
Yes.
Would this map help you to explain to the members of the jury exactly what took place after you called out for a pursuit?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm offering State's Exhibit 3 into evidence, please.
No objection.
State's Exhibit 3 will be admitted. You may publish it at your leisure.
Officer, there's a laser pointer up here. If you would use it while you're explaining. It's this little one right there. And you're going to have to multitask. So I want you to not only look at the screen behind you, but also speak into the microphone. So you're going to have to swivel your head back and forth to somehow make sure that you're heard by the members of the jury. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Officer, I'm now showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 3, and I want you to first point out to the members of the jury the area in Northport where you first encountered the defendant on August 31st of 2023.
So the address of 1240 Malakote is going to be in this general area.
Okay, all right, so let's look at the Northport map, and can you point out? All right, so once the defendant started to flee from you and Sergeant Johnson and who was the other person?
Corporal Hart.
Corporal Hart. Can you show the members of the jury the earlier part of his flight?
The earlier part of the flight was in this general area, which proceeded northbound past Toledo Blade Elementary School. And the road that the laser pointer on now is East Price Boulevard.
And was that through residential neighborhoods?
That's correct.
Okay, and how was the defendant driving as he continued his flight through those residential neighborhoods?
In the beginning, his flight was slowed driving, not too aggressive, but that pattern changed once we got into East Price Boulevard and the defendant began to speed and drive recklessly.
All right. Show us the continuation of his flight. Show us how he progressed as he drove away from you and the other two personnel from Northport.
So as the pursuit continued west on East Price Boulevard, we approached Toledo Blade. Once on Toledo Blade, the defendant made a right to go northbound as we traveled. In this general area where the pointer is, the defendant recklessly changed lanes and began traveling northbound in the southbound lanes in the opposite lane of travel. At this time, Commander Brownie was in a white unmarked police car coming southbound in the correct lane of travel. This time, the defendant almost struck Commander Brownie head on.
All right. And what happened after that incident when the defendant was going driving in the wrong lane? What did he do next?
So after the defendant was driving in the wrong lane of travel, he made a lane change to go back into the northbound lane and continue northbound on Toledo Blade.
Okay. After that incident there in Northport, did he take another main artery?
That's correct.
Where did he go?
So the defendant traveled north on Toledo Blade, ultimately entering the southbound lane at I-75 southbound.
All right. And in which direction did he go once he was in I-75?
Southbound in the southbound lanes.
Okay. Are you able to show us with your laser pointer, just in general, how far he continued into Charlotte County on I-75?
Yes, so the defendant traveled southbound, continuing southbound. So we got on the highway at exit 179. The defendant traveled all the way down to approximately this area, which is exit 170, Kings Highway in Charlotte County.
What did he do then?
The defendant exited I-75, made a left turn, and then made a second left turn, ultimately entering I-75 northbound at the same exit of 170.
At this point, were there still 3 police vehicles following the defendant, you, Sergeant Johnson, and the corporal?
That's correct.
Okay. So with your laser pointer, I want you to show the members of the jury what the defendant is doing now while Northport police cars are following him.
So the defendant enters northbound I-75, enters the center lane, and maintains a speed of approximately 80 miles an hour, driving in a straight, no evasive maneuvers, but still failing to yield for law enforcement.
Okay. And at this point, are your lights and sirens activated?
Correct.
Okay. I'm sure the members of the jury have heard police sirens before, but is the sound of a police siren loud enough to penetrate the cars that are near or surrounding the police car that are letting out their sirens?
Yes.
What about the lighting? When you say the lights are activated, describe the kind of lights that are used to draw the attention of people to pull them over and stop.
So police cars, they're equipped, Northport specifically, red and blue emergency lights, as well as white LEDs. So they're flashing very fast strobes. And like I said, they're LEDs, so they're very bright. And at nighttime, it illuminates the entire roadway.
Okay. And how far in front of Sergeant Johnson's car? Was he in the lead?
That's correct. Sergeant Johnson was the lead, and I was the second officer.
So how far was the defendant in front of Sergeant Johnson's car? And you can give us an estimate, of course.
Approximately 5 car lanes.
Okay, thank you. And this is with the lights and siren just going full blast?
That's correct.
All right, go ahead.
So as we continued northbound on I-75, now we're back in the jurisdiction of Northport. This time we start radioing to surrounding agencies, specifically Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Florida Highway Patrol.
Okay, why did you get Sarasota County Sheriff's Office involved?
At this time, we were passing all the exits to get back into Northport, and we were starting to approach and enter their jurisdiction.
Okay, so were you soon going to be crossing over into the jurisdiction of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office?
That's correct.
Okay, so once you involved those agencies to assist you, did you see their patrol vehicles as well?
Yes.
Okay, you can continue with your laser pointer, please.
So approximately where my laser pointer is now is the jurisdictional boundary from Northport, starting into Sarasota County. The pursuit continued, still in the center lanes, northbound.
Okay. And did Sarasota County Sheriff's Office assist in any way?
That's correct.
Can you tell the members of the jury exactly what they did?
So where my laser pointer is now is I-75 and North River Road. It was at that approximate location where the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office deployed spike strips on the defendant's vehicle.
Okay, tell the jury, what is a spike strip?
Spike strip is it's a device that you throw into the roadway, and it punctures the tires to deflate them for a safe ending to a pursuit.
And did that spike strip stop the defendant?
That's correct.
What happened after the defendant's car was stopped?
So as we traveled through the intersection of River Road, still on I-75, the defendant's vehicle came to a slow stop on the right shoulder, just south of Jacaranda,
Okay.
approximately in this area.
All right. And were you able to see that entire procedure, officer?
Yes.
Okay. Once the defendant's car stopped, what's the very next thing that happened?
Northport police officers pulled behind the defendant, and at this time he exited the driver's side of the vehicle and began to run into the tree line.
Thank you. Officer, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit Number 4. Will you look at that for me, please?
Yes.
Do you recognize it, sir?
Yes.
Can you tell the members of the jury what it is?
It's a recording of my dash cam video from my police car on that night.
And how do you recognize it?
Because I've reviewed it on 11/3 as well as November 12th, 2025.
Is it a true and accurate depiction of your dash cam footage on the night of August 31st into September 1st?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm offering State's Exhibit number 4 into evidence, please.
No objection.
State's Exhibit number 4 will be admitted. You may publish it at your leisure.
Thank you. Can you please take a look at that? And actually, I think I turned the wrong one on. I think this should be. Ms. Whipple?
Maybe. Oh, there.
Thank you. Please. Thank you. All right. Sorry. So, what are we looking at here as this dash cam begins?
This is a video of me arriving on Malakote Road.
Are you now on Malakote Road?
That's correct.
And as we look at this, I'm going to pause that for a moment. Explain to the members of the jury what they're seeing here.
So as you were watching, you could see my high beams as well as my takedown lights that we spoke about earlier illuminated, which brightens up the roadway. And then there you see the defendant standing behind the vehicle and then approaching the driver's side door.
Okay, and I would like you to speak up nice and loudly into the microphone so that everyone can hear you.
Yes.
Okay? All right. So now, are you able to see the defendant clearly at this point? Obviously, you can only see him from the back, but are you able to see him clearly?
Correct.
Right. And were you able to recognize the color and the type of clothing that he was wearing?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as he reached into his pockets for, it looks like but as he reached into his pocket and got into his car, where were you positioned?
In my driver's seat, and then I exited my vehicle.
In which direction is the defendant driving on Malakote?
West.
Tell the jury what's going on right now. Who is that in that large black vehicle?
That's Sergeant Patrick Johnson, and prior to that is the time when I was letting other officers know over the radio what I observed and that the defendant was ignoring my commands and beginning to drive away.
Can you tell us what the name of that artery, that main artery is?
Toledo Blade.
All right, what's happening here?
What we just observed was the defendant entering the southbound lane and continuing northbound in the wrong direction.
So is Toledo Blade a 4-lane highway?
Correct.
And tell us, how is it actually formulated? Does it have 2 lanes going northbound,
Correct, and 2 lanes going southbound.
separated by a strip?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, and so did the defendant just cross over and enter the southbound lane?
Yes.
Was there any other traffic that night?
Traffic was light.
But
There were other
Sorry.
there were other vehicles on the roadway.
And Commander Brownie was also coming to the, joining the pursuit.
Correct.
Okay. right, defendant's now back in the proper lane.
Correct.
As you continue to pursue the defendant, were you also getting reports from your fellow officers back at the crime scene?
Yes.
All right, so here we see the defendant. What did he just do?
He took an evasive maneuver to either hit or strike Sergeant Patrick Johnson or dodge his vehicle from a pit maneuver.
What's going on now, Officer Ragauckas?
The defendant entered the southbound lane to go onto I-75 southbound.
Can you tell the members of the jury approximately where you are?
At this time in the video, about to approach the exit 170 for Kings Highway in Charlotte County.
What's taking place now?
The defendant exited I-75 at exit 170.
And what's the very next thing that the defendant did?
The defendant then re-enters I-75 to go northbound.
Did the defendant at any time during this or the additional footage that we're going to see ever attempt to stop or obey any of the sirens or activated lights that were going on?
No.
Are you now headed northbound on I-75?
That's correct.
That's still in Charlotte County?
Still in Charlotte County for approximately another mile.
At what rate of speed is the defendant traveling?
Approximately 80 miles per hour.
Are you able to tell us where geographically we are right now?
Approximately near Sumter Boulevard and I-75, which is exit 182.
So we're going to look at the second portion of the dash cam. This just immediately jumps into where it ended on the last one. Are you now approaching the northern boundaries of Northport's jurisdiction?
Yes.
Right, so what's going on right now?
I believe it's at this time we're crossing into Sarasota County.
All right, is Sarasota County coming into play?
That's correct.
Are you now approaching the Venice city limits?
That's correct. Approximately at mile marker 188, approaching 189 at this time.
All right, what's going on now?
As we spoke about earlier, the tire deflation device that the sheriff's office used struck the defendant's tires, causing him to pull over to the side of the road.
All right, so now with your laser pointer, if you would just point out the defendant's car and Sergeant Johnson's car. And obviously we can see what looks like a dashboard. Can you show us your car?
That's correct, and that's my front bumper.
Okay. So now I want you to keep your eye on the area between the defendant's car and to the right of the defendant's car. And I'm going to turn this back on. What did we just see?
That was the defendant running into the tree line.
So the defendant got out of his car and ran into the tree line.
Correct.
Were you able to see him with your own eyes?
Yes.
Okay. And what did he do when he ran into the tree line?
He jumped over a fence, which opened up into a large field with a warehouse.
Okay. Thank you. Now, you told us that you were in communication with your fellow detectives and fellow officers back at the crime scene on 1240 Malacote Road. I want you to tell the members of the jury, before we talk about your communications with fellow officers, what took place after the defendant abandoned his car and jumped over the fence?
Law enforcement agencies, Northport, Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, and Florida troopers began to set up a perimeter in that general area, and then we waited for K-9 officers to arrive.
Right. At this point, had you heard about the fatalities on 1240 Malacote Road?
That's correct.
And did you also get other details about the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Robbie and Jennifer Tower?
Yes.
Okay. Did there come a time when K-9 officers from Sarasota County and Northport arrived on scene?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us a ballpark idea of when that was?
Approximately 15 minutes after the defendant ran into the tree line.
Okay. And did you join the foot pursuit along with the K-9 officers?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what you did with those officers?
Once we entered over the fence that the defendant was last seen, there was a large warehouse containing tractor trailers. It was completely dark out there, no lighting. So we had to conduct a thorough search of that warehouse before we could move forward.
Okay. And did you find any sign of the defendant there?
No.
Okay. All right. And the terrain, what was that like?
Very rough, tall grass, wet, small canals containing alligators that you could hear them.
All right. Okay. Did there come a time when you discontinued the K-9 search?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have further steps in this investigation, officer?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what you did.
I returned back to my vehicle after the K-9 search and drove back to 1240 Malacote Road to show detectives my dash cam video from my vehicle.
Okay. Who was the lead detective in the case?
Detective Eric St. Jean.
Did he review the dash cam video that the jury has just seen now,
Yes.
including the early portions where the defendant is getting into his car?
That's correct.
Did you do anything else aside from reviewing your dash cam and body cam with Eric St. Jean in this case?
No, that's where my investigation concluded.
Okay. Have a moment, please.
You may.
Thank you, officer. I have nothing further for you at this time.
Defense?
Morning, officer. How are you?
Good morning, how are you?
Good. You said that the high-speed pursuit didn't begin until outside of the residential district, correct?
Not correct.
Okay, you said that he didn't begin to accelerate until he left the residential area, I believe that was your testimony, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And the residential neighborhood off Malakote, would you consider Price a residential neighborhood?
Yes,
Okay. So Price and Toledo Blade has a Wawa at the corner, right?
correct.
And at the time they were building the Northport Behavioral Health Unit,
I believe so.
Okay.
Behind the Wawa.
that's not a residential facility, right? It's not like apartment complexes?
No.
In fact, the only area is on, if you're heading southbound down Price, on the right-hand side is where most of the houses are, correct?
Incorrect.
If you take Toledo Blade and the direction opposite that we were just shown there, because if you're going up Toledo Blade, going up Price, you take that right on Toledo Blade, correct?
Correct.
That's where that Wawa is, right?
Correct.
And the other side is woods, correct?
Correct.
All right. And the side of the street that's woods, if you go down farther in Price, they're actually building some apartments now, right?
They've been completed for a couple of years now.
Okay. But you're considering that a residential neighborhood.
Correct.
And that's Price, you would agree with me, is a main thoroughfare through Northport, correct?
Correct, with houses on
either
road
side.
as well. Correct.
Right. And it gets more residential the further you get past Toledo Blade, correct? So you go past the Walgreens there and the Commons where the Publix is, right?
Correct. It turns into residential.
And
again.
then further past Toledo Blade is more residential, correct?
Correct.
All right. But Toledo Blade has gas stations, right?
Correct. I would consider it industrial with warehouses as well.
And the warehouses are out down towards 75, correct?
Correct.
All right. You said that there was one portion there that you believe, I think that you may mention that Mr. Tower was attempting to strike the sergeant, correct, with his vehicle?
Well, it's unknown. There was two conclusions that I announced.
Sure. You could see from that vantage point the sergeant was attempting to go in front of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that would be something that you are trained to do as law enforcement, right? To use your vehicle to stop other vehicles.
Correct.
Okay. And that was unsuccessful, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then when you would agree with me that there is not an exit between 179 Toledo Blade and 170 Kings Highway, correct?
Correct.
On 75. And there is also not an exit between 182 on Sumter and 191 of River Road.
Correct.
Okay. So in those two areas, would it be fair to say that 80 miles an hour is a standard speed?
I don't know how to answer that with the
Do you-
speed limit
do you-
being 70 miles per hour.
I understand the speed limit is 70 miles an hour. Have you done traffic controls in that area previously?
Correct.
And you travel that way normally, right?
Correct.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that 80 miles an hour is pretty standard from your travels in that area?
Yes.
Okay. And at no point in time did you ever come into contact and have discussions with Mr. Tower, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I attempted contact but was ignored.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Based on your background and experience, officer, is it always dangerous when a car is fleeing from police?
Yes.
How so?
You don't know what their motive is to get away, or the reason for them to flee.
Right. Is there always potential for all kinds of mayhem,
Yes,
including deaths,
that's correct.
broken bones,
Correct.
multiple cars piling up,
Correct.
people dying on the roadside?
Correct.
Relevance?
Sustained is the last question.
Does that include innocent people being harmed when a flight is going on?
Yes.
Okay. So whether the defendant was going 40 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour, was he still fleeing from police
That's correct.
for over a half an hour?
Yes.
Nothing further, thank you.
Is the witness free to step down, counselors?
No objection, Judge.
All right, you may step down, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.